watching on the QMJHL's YouTube channel. I'm Patrick McNeil. Alex Reginald, your regular host, will be by for the French interview. I don't quite trust myself to do an interview in French, although I do trust myself to interview the guy who I'm speaking with now because I am the play-by-play man for the Cape Breton Eagles, and the gentleman joining me tonight plays with the Cape Breton Eagles, Tomas Lavoie, third-year defenseman in the Q. Thomas, how are you doing this evening?
Pretty good. How you doing, Patty?
And not too bad. Just getting ready for that game against Rwanda tomorrow night. Are you excited to try to get back on the winning track for the Eagles tomorrow as they play the Huskies?
For sure. I think we had two great practice in the last 2 days, and I think we're ready to face a challenge because I think they have been on a hot streak. Their power play is rolling. They have a couple key players to look at, so I think we're ready to face that challenge.
Now, that's a pretty good description of what's going on in Rwanda. Are you usually the type of player that keeps up to date with the teams coming in? How much do you know about your opposition usually?
Obviously, I'm looking at everything we're gonna face it every night. So, yeah, I know that their power play is gonna be a huge part of their game. We can't be in the box too long because they're gonna cash in. Obviously, they have some big player up front with Vero, Zanen, name it all, and back end they have Higgins. They have a pretty good team, and we'll be careful with those players. But overall, I think we're ready to face that challenge.
People around the league know your name now. NHL drafted player by the Utah Hockey Club. Walk us through what that weekend was like at the NHL draft.
The draft was awesome. Obviously, Alex Regimbal made that week memorable with the video he gave to my family and I. So that weekend was awesome. To be honest, just to get in Vegas, it's one in a lifetime to get there at the Sphere. The draft in there, it's awesome. It's a 360 degree vision all around you. And to be drafted to hear my name was awesome with the Utah. Great team. Can't wait to see what the years for me in front of me gonna bring.
Yeah, where are you sitting at in the sphere when you hear your name called? And is there people sitting all around you? I'm trying to picture what that will be like to be there in person.
Yeah, I was sitting pretty close to the stage, to be honest. I was a couple row back from the ground there. So I was close to actually Macklin Celebrini, who got drafted first overall. I was sitting a couple row behind him. And no, I was really close to the stage, and I heard my name on the second day there.
Now, leading up to the draft, how much were you still talking to teams heading into the draft? Did the interviews kind of stop at some point, or teams talking to you right up into the draft?
I think it stopped right after the combine when I went in Buffalo for a week. I think all the team did their final meeting with players there. They might have some meetings after that, but I only had a meeting with the Pittsburgh Penguins just before the draft. I think the day before the first round, I had a meeting with them. But except that, that was off for me.
Now, it ends up obviously being Utah. What do you think it was they liked about your game? What did they tell you when they called your name and you came down to meet them at the draft?
Obviously, I think they like my game, being as a big defenseman, can be a shutdown player who's gonna be physical, who's gonna bring some shots to the net in the offensive zone. So I think it's a mix of everything, and I think they see my future, what type of player I can be at the next level. So I think that's why they picked me.
And about the camp itself, you had the chance to play a game with Utah. Just walk us through how exciting that whole experience was.
Oh, it was awesome. I think the NHL training camp brings me a lot of confidence when I came back here in Cape. But basically, the camp, the first week was the rookie tournament. Just playing a couple games in Los Angeles. The It was the tournament there in Los Angeles, and obviously playing 3 games there against San Jose. First game, Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini, two exceptional players. A lot of skill, a lot of speed. So that was awesome to play against them because when you play against the best player, that's how you get better. And after that, we play Los Angeles Kings, and my third game was against I don't remember exactly who it was, but obviously after that, those 3 games we came back in Utah, had a little meeting saying that I'm going to go to the main camp with the pro players. So That was a big step, to be honest, to see them all around at the rink, how they take care of their bodies, how they're practicing. It's all in the detail, the practice habit they have, and I think if I can bring that here in Cape to show the players how it's the next level, I think that would be awesome. And I've played my first game in Dem One, Iowa, against the St. Louis Blues. Was awesome, to be honest. Wearing that jersey in first preseason game for Utah, that was an exceptional moment for me. And after that, I came back here in Cape with the boys here.
Now, what Blues forwards do you remember matching up against? Was there anybody that gave you a big challenge? I'm sure it was pretty exciting just to be on the ice for an NHL game.
Oh, of course, and couple Blues players had they had Braden Shen, who was their captain, was playing. Colton Perico was there. There was also Philip Broberg on the back end too. So those three players, I really saw them on the ice because usually I'm watching them on TV, but now I was playing against them, so I saw them on the ice.
Now, how spectacular are the Utah mountains? Because that was the first thing you told me when you came back to Cape Breton.
Mountains are crazy there. To be honest, it's the city, and it's in the middle of the mountains. So you're looking on your left, on your right. It's mountain everywhere, and mountains are huge and really beautiful.
Now, I know it's the only experience you have because that's the team you were drafted by, but did you get a sense going there of the energy of being part of something new where it's the first team? Like what are the fans like there? Did you get a chance to kind of talk to the people in the community about how excited they are to have the NHL?
I didn't have the chance to talk personally with the fans, but I think during my training camp, right after the draft, we did our development camp in the summer there, and we had a game on the last day before we leave, and the rink was almost full there. Like the fans are really excited and happy to have a team, an NHL team there, and I think they'll support their team the whole year. And I think it's more important to have a good fan base than no fans like they had in Arizona. I think so. I think Utah is pretty good for them.
Yeah, I'm sure the other players who played in Arizona last year are probably excited to get back to playing in a regular arena again. You come back to Cape Breton. What's the adjustment like for you coming back? Because you come back, Jakob Malota comes back at the same time, and then shortly after Cam Squires. What are those first games and first practices like? I guess it's maybe a little bit of a come down. What is it like coming back to the Q?
Obviously, the play is a little bit slower, just a little bit, but I don't think that was a big changement for me. Just bringing here like the habits I had in practice over there. Be hard every step on the ice, every second. And when I came back from my first couple games, I remember my first game against St. John. I had to sleep in Halifax the night before. Drove up here just before get here just before the game. Had heavy legs on that day, so I did my best. Finally, I scored a goal that game, and we lost in shootout. But after that, that was good. And at this time, the team was not doing good. I think we had a slow start, to be honest here. But when we went through our first trip in Quebec and started in Gatineau, that was a new season for us there. We wanted to start a new season, and we went off for 6 wins in a row. We lost our first game last Friday against Bathurst. So now we just got to get back on our game, and we'll get back on the win column.
Yeah, and I should note too, we'll be getting questions from fans. My first time doing this, so apologies if I'm not right on the draw. But while I wait to figure that out, I should ask about that turnaround because you said 6 game winning streak right after that start. What was that meeting like with all the players, and how did that all come together to the idea to just kind of reset the season?
Uh, I think we had a great meeting in Gatineau before the games. I think that was right after the Hood trade and Henneberry coming in. We had a leadership group meeting, and then after that with the whole team. So it was basically just trying to get the boys in and starting a new season. It's like our first night. We want to get our first win. So to get that first win was important for us, and I think we felt good after that, and nothing could stop us after that win.
Owen Gale wants to know what's your favorite arena to play in.
In the queue, I think Halifax is pretty good. It's like a smaller Bell Center in Montreal. I feel like it's perfect. There's always fans against us because we always have a good rivalry against the Moosehead for Nova Scotia. So it's always good to play in Halifax.
And there's a lot of Cape Bretoners that live there too. So I'm sure if you look closely, you can see Eagles fans in the crowd. Do you guys and the teammates notice when you have fans on the road?
Always. I think you know it, Patty. When we're playing in Quebec, it's like we're
Yeah.
playing at home sometimes, and we definitely see a lot of fans, a lot of Eagles fans on the road. And like you said, in Halifax, when we score sometime in Halifax, we can hear a couple screams. So it's always good to have some fans on the road. It's bring us a little bit more energy, and we felt good after that.
Brent DeBorn wanted me to ask you how much you got to see Gabe Smith at Utah training camp. That must be a bit strange because obviously you're rivals in the Q.
To be honest, that was good. Sometimes, the last 2 years we played against Moncton, I didn't really like him on the ice. We had such we went hard in the corner against each other all the time, and we were chirping and yapping at each other. But to meet him, he's a great guy, to be honest. And now I'm closer to him. And last game we played against Moncton, we had fun on the ice, but we still played hard against.
Right.
But to know that guy is a great person, and really enjoyed to spare some time with him in Utah.
But you didn't let up when you had the chance to hit him, though, did you?
I almost did. I should have, but I didn't because he was failing at this time.
Well, you look at Moncton; they're 9-1 in their last 10 games. That one loss, though, was to the Eagles, and that was quite the game too. Because you guys play in Halifax, you get into Center 200 about 2:30. You don't play again, and well, you do play again very quickly after. How fired up were the guys for that game? I know every game is worth 2 points, but that was probably a pretty special one.
Yeah, like you said, we played in Halifax the day before. We got back here at 3 a.m. Went to bed probably at 3:30, and we were playing in the afternoon. So the first thing we said was we wanted to beat Moncton because we know they're good. They have a good team, and they had a good ranking in the CHL. So just to beat them, prove that we're not a team that need to be messed with. Like if we're playing our way, like we should every game, I don't think we something can someone can beat us. Like I know it's not gonna happen because sometimes we're gonna have some breakdown, but when we play our way, the Eagles' way, nothing can stop us.
That was a really good game, I think, for both teams. It was fun to watch from a neutral perspective. I'm sure it was. Obviously, me working for Cape Breton, it was good to see the Eagles win. Now, you pointed out to me earlier that your numbers offensively getting pretty close to what they were at 16 already at this young part of the season. What's been the key to developing that offensive side of your game?
I think just to trust myself and the confidence from the NHL camp. I had so much confidence when I got back from there, so I think I have more time. More time with the puck than sometimes I think. So just using my vision, my shot, bring some shot to the net, help me, and that's how I get on the scoreboard.
Now, we talked a lot about you going to Utah, but obviously your first overall pick in the queue, a little bit different then because there was no in-person draft with COVID, but you got to have a bit of a special experience because the Eagles were able to bring you into town ahead of time, and there was all kinds of star alumni there as well. Just tell us what you remember about that week.
That was one of my best week ever, to be honest. When the team brought me down, me and my family here in Sydney at the hotel, and to draft me first overall was awesome. And to meet Pierre-Luc Dubois, Drake Batterson, Logan Shaw, James Shepard, all guys that played here and had success and still have success in the NHL, it was awesome. Just being drafted first overall, I think it's once in a lifetime. I remember when I met with the Eagles when they came in my town for a meeting. The first thing they told me, today is not an interview, it's a meeting, and we want to know if you're coming with us or not. And I had 2 days to think about that. So in the next 2 days, I had to call my agent. I had to talk with my mom, my dad, see what's the best thing if I go there, what's the negative point if I go there. So there was a lot of go around during that week when I met them. But after that, there was. nothing but just me to want to go there. And when I came here, I couldn't speak English, and now I think I'm doing a little bit better than my first year, so it's all good.
Yeah, doing a full half-hour interview on English YouTube. Maybe it'll be easier
Yeah.
for it's to French. Now, your rookie year was an interesting one. There were a lot of changes in Cape Breton. That was Sylvain Couturier's first year, and there was a lot of injuries on the blue line. It seemed like you and the guys that weren't getting hurt were playing like 30 minutes a game. Every 5 minutes into every game, there'd be another guy that would be down. And I guess obviously unfortunate at the time, but how much do you think that helped your development that you were able to play so much at 16?
Really helped me. Remember my first year, Halifax, Quebec, Gatineau, and Sherbrooke was four powerful team, and they had so many drafted player or signed player or whatever. And I was playing on the first D pairing at 16 against those players. I remember playing in Sherbrooke and going against Joshua Ra, Brabenek, and some other guys, Milo Rollins, I think. And
Right.
I was impressed, and I wasn't scared. I was just impressed, and I let that affect my game, I think, a little bit because I was so impressed by them. And same thing for Quebec, Halifax, and Gatineau. But to play that much minute really helped me. I think some people might look at my stats. My first year, I finished minus 39, but I learned a lot through that, and I think that's the best way to learn it.
Yeah, and Xavier Daigle was another player that was sort of in a similar situation. You two have actually been paired together quite a bit in the last 3 years. How much do you think that's helped both of your games?
A lot. Me and Dag really know each other well after 3 years to be together, and we're still playing together this year. And I think it's easier when you know someone for a long time to play with him because you know sometimes he's going to do that play, sometimes he's going to do another play. So it makes the game a little bit easier.
Now, we talked about Q connections in Arizona, or sorry, Utah. Somebody was going to make that mistake, but Maverick Lamoureux was drafted when they were still Arizona, and obviously he makes his NHL debut with Utah. I know you had a little post about that on your Instagram. How excited were you for him? He's been through a lot with injury, so it's nice to see him make his NHL debut.
I was so happy for him. I met him at my development camp in the summer. Just a great guy to be around and to be like he's from the same area as me, so we have a lot of connection together. And just being around him and with him and see that he played his first NHL game this year, and just really happy for him, and he really deserved it.
Now, you're only 18, but do you see yourself as a leader on this Cape Breton team? You do have obviously have a lot of experience in the league by now.
Yeah, I see myself as a good leader here. It's my third year, like you said. I think I can bring a lot on the ice this year. I can show the younger guys sometimes what needs to be done or how we can handle that situation. And maybe sometimes it's on the mental side. I'll be there for them too if they have questions because I've been through a lot my first year, and sometimes was not easy. So if I can help them in any way, I'll be there, and I think I'll be a good leader for them.
Now, do you find it strange sometimes when you look around the bus or on the ice on practice days? You're looking around; it's very few guys that are left from when you started.
Yeah, like I think there's only from my first year. I think there's only Fullerton, Patterson, Daglan, Squires, if I remember correctly. But no, it's I don't think it's weird because it's part of the process. But it's good to be still around those guys I've been with my first year.
Obviously, you carry a big frame on the ice. Are do you feel natural, comfortable playing a physical style? Was that something that you had to work your way into?
Yeah, obviously. I think coming in the queue, I wanted to be that player, and on my first year, I didn't really show it. Last year, I think I more show it the second half of the season that I wanted to be a physical player, and this year I think I'm showing that I'm a physical player. So it has been a long process, but I think with Louis, really helped me that way to get more physical, more meaner, and I still have a lot to learn and to improve. But I think it's way better than last year in my first year.
Well, speaking of Louis, Owen Gale wants to know what Louis says to you guys before a game. Does he like to motivate you guys? Does he try to pump you up? What's his style of coaching when it comes to communicating with the players?
He hates to lose. That's the first thing that comes to mind, and we all hate to lose now because of him. It's a great way to approach a game, I think. But he's not doing something crazy before the game. He's just coming, tell us what's the plan, how the other teams play, and he just gave the sheet to Luke Patterson to do the starting five, but nothing crazy before games.
Well, I should ask about Matt Anthony too, because he's one of the longer tenured assistant coaches in the league. I know you have a good relationship with him. What's it been like playing under him? Because he's been in charge of the defense now since 2019 with the Eagles.
Do Matt for everything he brings to us, to his trust for his players. He's also taking care of the PK, so we're practicing a lot of PK with him, a lot of video outside the ice with the guys. So he brings a lot to us, and I think we are doing a lot for him too. So it's a partnership with him. So he gave us a lot, we gave him a lot.
Yeah, I mentioned that Brent Born and Moncton messaged me earlier about Gabe Smith. He said he met you at the prospects game, said you're a very nice guy. What was that whole experience like? Obviously big for anybody that's draft eligible, but probably kind of surreal for you playing in Moncton, a city that you're so familiar with.
Yeah, no, to be honest, I was really happy to not travel more than we do here in Cape. So just to do a 6 hours drive was perfect to me to play there. To play that game at prospect game, a lot of good players that have been drafted this year was awesome. To play in Moncton, that's familiar for me, so I think I use that to my advantage there compared to other players. And no, that was just an awesome experience there.
Yeah, obviously you're NHL drafted and you're on a strong team in Cape Breton. What kind of goals have you set for yourself this year? Have you thought about that, or you just more concentrate on game to game?
Uh, I'm more concentrated on game per game on a daily basis. I'm not thinking about. I'm not thinking in 2 weeks. I'm thinking about tomorrow, and tomorrow is to win the game against Rouen and Randa. So it's more day to day for me. And obviously, if I had a goal, which one of my goal is to sign my contract. That's my next personal goal, and I think I have every aspect to achieve it.
Now, as I mentioned, you're one of a number of guys who came back after being drafted. Cam Squires drafted the year before, and Jakob Malota is drafted by Nashville. Did you get to see Yak at the draft very much? What's the relationship like between a goaltender and his defenseman?
I think I have a pretty good relationship with Yak compared to last year. I think we got closer this year. We like to have fun together, just scaring each other on the road or at home. It's a basic thing, but that makes the relationship just better. And no, I didn't see Yak at the draft because I don't think he came down in Vegas.
Ah, yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned scaring people, so we have to ask if people pay attention to the Cape Breton Eagles social media. Earlier today, you put on the Halloween mask. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see every player's reactions. For those that didn't see, Thomas was kind of hiding behind the corner and trying to scare the guys. Who did you give the biggest scare to, and whose idea was that? Did you get to pick the mask?
I get to pick the mask. That's a mask my billet have, so I brought it
Okay.
to the rink. But Brad Chandler, our coordinator for the video here in Cape Breton, came to me earlier this week and told me, "You mind if you would like to scare the boys and we'll do something for Halloween?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm on it for sure." So this morning got the rink at 7:30. We set up everything, and I was hiding around the corner. And the best reaction was Schmidi. With the camera didn't show Schmidi's reaction, but he couldn't see me. And when I step and scare him, he just went back 3 or 4 steps and almost fell down. That was hilarious.
Now, are you going to bring that mask on the bus on Thursday? And maybe if we get into PEI early enough, you can go to some houses around the hotel, see if you can get some candy.
I might try actually, but it depends on the game. We'll see what's the mood on Thursday morning.
This is true. We can't eat it. You got a game the next day. You
Yeah.
gotta stay off that, but you can save the candy for later, maybe. Well, Thomas, I think people around the league are going to get to know you a bit better. They'll enjoy having the chance to hear from you. If somebody hadn't watched you play, I know I always like to ask the guys this one. How would you describe Tomas Lavoie's style of play?
Uh, big defenseman who can brings great shots to the net. Who's going to play physical? Who's more defensive defenseman, and who's going to block some shots and play hard to against, and kind of the shutdown defenseman.
Well, we've liked watching that in Cape Breton. Hopefully fans around the league get the chance to enjoy watching you as well. Thanks to everybody for watching YouTube. I'm going to hand it off to Alex to do this en français in a few minutes. Thanks for this, Thomas, and I will see you at the rink tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Patty.